Good morning, traders, and this is my Forex setups for today. So starting off with EURUSD. EURUSD is definitely on the move. Was a pretty decent trade yesterday, and I have a feeling we're probably going to get ourselves another trade today. So first things first, let's just understand the bigger picture here. I'm just going to pop across to the weekly, and you can see we've had this really strong downtrend, a bit of choppy price action, and then we accelerated up, came back, and now we're breaking up. So basically what has been transpiring is we're breaking through levels. Okay, so there was the first level we broke through, and we now have pretty much that level there that we have broken through now, which is 115023. Okay, so coming back to the 8 hour, you'll see we don't really, I'm just going to zoom in a bit here. We don't really have any structure close by to the left-hand side. We've broken through some pretty big areas. So you're going to look for those on the hour now. So in saying that, this level here, 115023, that's a weekly level, so keep that in. And I think what you want to do is basically pay attention to 115465. Is the one side of it. The other part of this story is this range. Okay, so there are two possible entries that I'm looking for. First one is 115465, and if we don't drop down to that level to get a decent entry, then it's going to be based on this range break. So what you may find is a bit of a squirt up, back down, and then move, or you may find a break below the range. Range target is pretty much down here as well, which is going to give you the entry. So yesterday's price action, pretty much this area here, you can see we came back down to the weekly level, okay, pretty hard and aggressively, and then the buyer stepped in, and that was the entry right there. Okay, so yeah, I think that's still looking set for some longs. I think there's still more to coming. There's pretty strong uptrend forming at the moment, especially if you look at it 8 hour, you can see that's a pretty strong uptrend right now. Okay, upside targets, there isn't much structure. Let's just see. I lie. We have quite a bit of structure. So one of the first targets is going to be 116155. And then I would expect us to bounce back and then attack it again, get through, find support there and get through. I think ultimately we're basically aiming for this area right up here, which is 117492. Okay. New one that just popped up on my radar is Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. Pretty much a scenario of very strong uptrend, and then we're going sideways. We formed a fairly big now my chart has frozen. Okay, there we go. Right, so we formed a fairly big wedge here. Okay, so there it is there. We've broken out, retested. So just based on that, looking for longs here. And what we're looking for is a retest of structure. That is the first one. Okay, let's get down to the hour and we'll pick up anything different. And you can see we are forming another wedge at the moment. So definitely looking at that. There is another level a little bit higher up. Look at that there. Okay, and that's kind of where we're bouncing at the moment. So I'm watching this zone right here. So I'm looking at 107038 and 106922. So basically there is a measured move here. Just be a bit conservative on it. And upside target for me is going to be 107880 on this pair. Okay, so it does look like a bit of a wedge forming. We can either wait for the wedge to break and retest, or alternatively Accept that this is a zone that we're coming back to test. And what you'll be looking for is sort of an entry. Let's say we get an entry here. The 500-point stop loss for 800-point gain. Okay, you can also drop even further, so just bear that in mind. There is another level inside here, right the way down at 106792. Okay, lastly on this pair, there is a fairly strong trend line, so I would take it here. If it does break below this, we'll be a little bit more patient and wait for it. But if we get some decent bullish price action right where we are now, bottom of trend line at a major level, there's opportunity to buy coming in right here. Okay, and for that, probably just drop down to the 15 minutes during the European Open. Don't do it now, and watch what happens here. See what kind of price action we get off this level. Nothing really standing out at the moment. Okay, pound USD, we had a pretty strong pullback onto structure. Let's just get to the 8 hour first. Okay, so you can see multiple areas where there was structure. There's also that trend line there. Okay, so we basically had a pullback onto structure, and I can line up any one of these inside bars that would be in my structure. And if we come across to the hour, you'll see fairly deep pullback onto structure, smacked it bang on. That was your entry, 126489, and we've rallied. We are now also forming a bit of a range here. So for me, either a drop to the downside, okay, either a Fibonacci pullback or back onto some form of structure, and I think those are the two areas that I can see at the moment. So the first one is 126851, and the second one is 127174. However, this is a range. I'd also take the range break here. Break up, retest, long, stop below the range. Okay, you have a measured move target here as well. There it is there. Okay, so that was the first move up, looking for the second move up, and that's a fairly decent trade if it does play out. Okay, so you'll be looking at 128208. So pretty much if we get a break and retest here, you're looking at a 330-point stop loss for a 700-point gain, more than a 2-to-1 trade. Okay, next pair, Euro Japanese yen, another one that just popped up as well. So a similar scenario here as Euro dollar. You can see fairly strong move to the downside. But what has happened is we have pretty much broken the trend. This is a massive double bottom, and we're on the weekly chart, so you can see this is a massive double bottom. We've broken it. We've come back, and we're now busy breaking it again. So for me, there's only one direction that this is going in at the moment, and that is up. Oh, what's going on? My trading station is freezing. Okay, let's go back to the 8 hour. So you can see we're playing with this previous high here. There is a little level that we need to pay attention to inside this here, which is right here. Okay, 123640. Just pop down to the hour. We'll be trading off. Doesn't look like we're going to be getting to that level. It does look like this little flag here is going to break out. It has already broken out, but I'd want to see a retest back. So let's just get a level in there. I'd want to see sort of 124045 retested, and then you have a measured move here as well, and it is this fairly strong move here. Let's just be a little bit conservative, and you are looking for 125002. I'm going to look to the left to see what that is, and that ties up with another level right over there. Okay, so that's also another long entry. Swiss franc Japanese yen. Just was having a look at this morning. Now, first things first, This thing has broken through a pretty major level on the weekly. Have a look at that. So that was a pretty strong weekly level that we are well above at the moment. I'd like to see us come back to it and test it just to make sure that we are breaking through it. But we're at another level right now, so I wouldn't be looking for longs here. If you look at this structure here, okay, and look a little bit more to the left, you'll see quite a bit of structure here. So I wouldn't really be looking for longs, but I'm not looking for shorts either. And let me just explain what I'm talking about here. So we've had this flag break. Just in the interest of saving a bit of time here. There's the flag. Okay. Here is the measured move. Okay. So that measured move is pretty close to being done. Okay. So what I'm waiting for now is a pullback. And that pullback needs to come back, preferably back to test this breakout. If we can get that, look at this big head and shoulders, this big inverse head and shoulders here as well. So we have a pretty big target on offer here. So this is the start of a major trend reversal as far as I'm concerned. And we just need to wait for, don't know what we're waiting for, but it looks like we have some technology problems this morning that we need to resolve before trading commences. Anyway, so looking at the hour, you can see we had this really strong break through this weekly level, and then we formed a bit of a flag, and we're breaking above the flag. Now, bear in mind what I said. There is a massive level up here. So I'm not sure I want to be taking that. I'm looking for the pullback. The other scenario is that we do race through this today, and then we come back and test it later, and probably not this week, probably next week. That would give us a decent area to be long again. So this is just something to be watching. Swiss franc, Japanese yen. And it seems like there's a lot of pressure on the Japanese yen at the moment across multiple currencies right now. And gold is also flying. So I think this is worthwhile watching. Either a decent pullback or a break and rebuild of structure on a higher time frame, 4 or 8 hour, finding support up here. That would be the signal to get in on this trade. Okay, so anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you later. Cheers for now.